Remember the old videos when I started out doing the car videos? Like, I don't even remember what car I was in then. And then I got the pickup truck. Bro, we done came a long way. But peace and love. Another TFB segment. You know, already know. TFB, CGN. So, do I got it on me? Do I got it on me? Alright, let me see. Alright, so that's something different. Before I get into that, we could go through this. Is my personal information blocked? Nope. Let's not do that. Alright, so right here, so this is, you know, TFB trust fund baby stuff right here. So this is evidence of how asset transfers work. This is, remember I was talking about car videos, and one of them, like when I had that big F250 on that lift kit with the 36-inch tires with the rims on it. Dumb, super loud. I missed that truck. But it was in the trust. And this is how I did it right here. I went to the Secretary of State and I did an asset transfer and I put it in this particular revocable living trust right here. This is before I really knew the benefit of like irrevocables and like kind of how it worked. But whenever they ran the plates, this is the name that came up, not mine. Especially because I used to be on some ignorant stuff when I was younger out in the city. But yeah, like fam, it's more fact than fiction. Just understand that. And I really don't care about these numbers on this instrument. Like this car, I ain't draw this car in years, so do what you please. But it's really for the information aspect. Understanding that if you want privacy, you want protection. This is the way you do it. Some people like to do it through LLCs. LLCs hold a certain level of liability I don't wish to agree with. I mean, I don't wish to partake in. But this is like I'm telling you, when they run the place and they be like, trust. I'm telling you, they look at you completely different, fam. But let's get into it. So, first off, peace and love to everybody. Shout out to you for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe, all of that great stuff. Storytime /podcast type game. But also, shout out to my elder, GP Rob from Game Face Growing Farms, Chief Greenhead. I wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for bro, which I'm about to break down. And also, this is a section from the Game Face Growing Farms book. It is Game Face, an American Story, the End of Prohibition to Cannabis. So yeah. So we going, like, this is paperwork day, baby. So we bringing out the receipts. All right, so just so you can see, like, this Oregon, this is just a few, this not even everything, because I got stuff broken up into other sections. What's this? This Georgia. That's Brian Kemp. This Fulton County in Georgia. I'm gonna show y'all what all this stuff means in a second. Let me check screen. All right, bet. That's what I was trying to avoid. I don't want to lose nothing. What's this? That's Fulton. That's the other page. Florida. Michigan. Jersey. I know that one. That's second page to the Jersey joint. Alright, and then we just go through some of this stuff that's in here. So, I'm gonna show y'all. Like, so I'm reading directly from the documents, just so y'all know. This is from the cannabis company, Game Face. And then once I go through the story, it came to a certain point where the GP, I felt like, because of it's the spelling and the acronym, and I love it, it's super strong. But because of my upbringing in commerce, I felt as if we could have a stronger marketing presence if we have something a little bit more corporate friendly. So I came up with Growing Farms, GROW INGPHARMS. Same way how we have Game Face, GAMPHACE. So we kept the GP. You know, good branding, good marketing. So right here, offices, section 1, principal offices. It says the principal office of Delaware Corporation is located in the state of Delaware, doing business in the charter of Federal Schedule 1 marijuana exempt industrial hemp, state of New Jersey, business code, joint purchase membership permit, New Jersey ST3 form, resale certificate, New Jersey ST4 form, exempt use certificate. So those are the documents. Do I got a ST3 and a ST4 on me? Let me see. Yeah, bro, I've been moving around. I ain't even in the office. This is a copy of... Okay. So, let me block out homie info. Yeah, and some of these codes. But right here, you see ST, boom, right there. There's an ST4. And there's somebody else membership right here. And I rarely give out ST3s because you got to be a large corporation to have an ST3. Yeah, and then this is one of our contracts with one of the reservations right here. Shout out to the Shinnecock. So let's get into the story, right? Well, damn, we got to finish running through this real quick because it's something very important in here so we can get to how I had my meeting with the DEA, right? That's what we're talking about. How I met with the DEA in South Florida. Crazy ass day, bro. So right here, Article 1, Game Face organized exclusively as a for-profit business within the jurisdiction of the United States international regions under federal registrar. And then it says rules and regulations, regulatory certifications, 21 CFR 1308 1970. CSA Title 21 USCS 885. So that we always say it's an 885 exemption. 885A1 80227 and 822C12 CFR 35. So boom, just so y'all can see. I have this in digital format, but I ain't feel like doing nothing that today. I'm out and about and I need to get the content done. So now this page right here, this is one of the most important parts of this document right here. In collaboration with Federal Schedule 1 marijuana exempt industrial hemp of New Jersey, organized exclusively to contract with entities such as corporations, non-governmental, governmental, public, and private banking institutions, national, international agencies, to the original Aboriginal and Indigenous people of the globe, adopting the constitutions of and for of the United States and the organizations of the Americas, OAS, adopting the laws of the United Nations rights of Indigenous people under their international law, and holding officers to their oath of office and accountability in accordance of Federal Civil Rights Statute Title 18 USCS sections 241, 242, and 245 1B. That's A. Let's go to B right. Allows manufacture of Schedule 1 controlled substance, marijuana. Private business entity and business members are exempt from all statutes of alleged criminal activity by the closed regulatory system enforced by the Drug Enforcement Agency. The business has a closed distribution system that allows product industrial hemp, cannabis, medicinization for sale to members who are ultimate users. There is no conveyance to a third party for the record. Then it talks about some of the other sub things that we can do. All of my members get access to this particular documentation. They all have bylaws, these things. Oh, and then it's another one. Where is it? I think this is, yeah, this the one for Illinois. So yeah, and then that's not even all of them because it's a whole separate set that's up in Jersey. So it's quite a few different states that we conduct business in. And there are also the spots where we have tribal land that so this is how, in the Game Face book, this is how I ended up having the meeting with the DEA, right? Turn that down. So, for those of you who do not know, the DEA is the Drug Enforcement Agency. Very serious people, not people you want to meet on the wrong terms, fam. So I was doing business with this one tow truck company in South Florida, and they were doing very well for themselves, multi-million-dollar family. And so it was like an hour and a half away from where I was down in Miami. I'm in a rental car, and this is before I moved. Like, this is part of my transition to Florida, right? So I'm coming down, establishing contracts. That way that I have income and business, and I'm also setting up grows at multiple locations in Florida. So Ron DeSantis, as y'all seen, like, the governor of Florida, they had got the company documents and they understood what we was doing. We had just got cleared for a facility in Boynton Beach. This is pre-COVID, right? And so everything going on, I'm down there solo. I got 5 units in my hotel, like exotic, crazy smelling stuff, and like super strong stuff, bro. Like, I miss some of those strains. So I drive up like an hour and a half to go have this meeting. I already knew. He was like, I got a DEA friend, and I'm also gonna have the sheriff come out, because they wanted to make sure it was clear for them to do what they was trying to do. So I was like, all right, I'll bring the paperwork or whatever. And then so I drove up there, and he was like, I'm surprised you came. I'm like, really? I'm like, what reason would I have not to come? I'm like, everything I say is what it is. So it's probably like 7 European people in this room, me and one other melanated person, and this man works for them. He is they farmer, and he's on some yes boss, yes sir, yes sir. That's all you heard from that man. So it's clearly not somebody who I'm having conversations with in the room. He was just there in order to give his insight on the agriculture aspect. But then when it came to the money, it was the one person who brought me there. I'm purposely leaving out names. I don't even know if I put names in the book when I wrote this stuff. And then there is the DEA agent, and then there's the sheriff, all in the same room. We in a back room at this location, and you have to drive. They have to let you in through this gate. And also one of my close friends, one of my Masonic brothers, bro had flew down to come kick it with me. So I had him drive up, and he rode up there with me, bro. And when he was sitting outside, he was like, bro, I don't know what you into, but it had to be at least 10 different sheriff cars come to this space while you was in here. And I'm like, say that. So we having a meeting on the inside. This is before I came out and I spoke to him and I knew everything. We having a meeting on the inside, and they showing me pictures of my elder, or what my elder grow look like satellite images. He had like 144 plants in his backyard one time at Jersey. This is well before all the wreck and stuff happened. And also it's court records of people like Hakeem Green from Madism, him being able to get a court case dropped when he walked into the court with weed and got arrested, and he ended up getting it dropped without prejudice. So it was several situations that they had brought to the forefront, and I'm just looking at everything. I'm like, damn. And then I showed them the documentation. I showed them the information that Ron DeSantis had and everything. The DEA agent leaned over and he was like, I don't give a fuck. He was like, I arrest people for stuff like this. I'm just like, I sat back, and this is what I ran through my head. I'm like, I'm gonna have to sue the shit out these people. And it's from that meeting, I always knew I had to have minimal contact and be hands off with my position in the company, being the CEO, because if anything ever happened where I got into any form of jeopardy, it would be an issue, because then nothing else could really be like, it can go the way it needed to go until I had trained other people at that time. There's other people in place now, but that was very important at that time, because I'm like, bro, I can't even move the way I used to move. These people, they on demon time. So after we had the meeting and everything, clearly I did not think this meeting went the way that I needed it to go. And I talked to the sheriff, everything, and these is South Floridian Europeans. They had attitudes. They looking at me like, who am I? How can I do all of this? They didn't give a damn about my tribal status. They was like, how can you do this and we can't? Because you don't know the people I know. It just works like that sometime in life, bro. So I go outside, I walk out after the meeting, and like I said, I have 5 pounds in the car right now. I'm in the rental. He told me what he told me about like all the sheriffs that came through. So I'm like, damn, they for sure know the whip I'm in out here. So I drive back down to Miami and I change rentals immediately. That's the first thing I do before I go get any food, change hotels, anything. I change cars, then I change hotels, and then it's just, like I said, being mindful also where I come from. Minimum contact, you don't know what type of time people on or anything. So my partner was still, bro was still down there kicking it. And then like a day or two passed, I get a phone call from the individual who had invited me up there to the meeting. And he was like, hey, yo. He was like, you'll never guess. I'm like, what happened? He was like, you know my DA friend? He called me and he apologized. And he said everything that young man said was completely true. And I was like, oh, is that right? Bro, I'm out here changing cars and everything, and like I literally had this man tell me like he gonna press me just because in his mind he thought he could, but then he went back and he verified all my information and everything I told him. He was like, oh, you solid. And I was able to establish a contract there, but I had like, based on us having an R&D company, we went through a lot of research and development funds, just having an understanding of how the Florida climate works. Outdoor, I would not grow THC flower outdoor in Florida. It is way too humid out here. You'll end up producing mold and mildew. And I also would not, you can do indoor for sure out here, and that's one of the main things, but like that AC bill, regulating that because it is heat out here in order to keep the perfect temperature. For me, it's a lot more financially feasible in order for me to grow in other states, and because of our agreement and the tribal relationship we have, transporting, it's a lot easier, fam. it's a lot more cost effective because we can produce great quality things outside because the company is so old and some of the genetics are so dialed in. It looks just like, and people receive it the same way how they would indoor. But yeah, that was my little DEA experience. And it was like, that's just one between sitting with Palm Beach City Council, sitting with the attorney from Cocaine Cowboy, like I forget homie name, but like they wanted him to represent us at a particular point in time because of his experience with controlled substance law. So yeah, like we got a nice little resume. Like story time gonna keep going, even from KRS-One, all of that stuff. The majority of my relationships that I have been fortunate enough to get in these stories, a lot of them came after I got the cannabis company. So yeah, it's been lit for sure. Shout out to Tracy Horton. Like, one, she's an amazing lady. She is a sweetheart, and she authored both of these books, Unlocking the Power Within for Lasting Influence, and this one, The Soul Shift. I have been fortunate enough to be around great women of all different nationalities who can teach me a lot about myself in the way that I think, and I have been way more receptive as I've gotten into my 30s, just about where I can learn from in order to better build a better me, a better sense of self, so you know I can project better things into the world. So like I'm thankful for, first off, she signed these, yeah. And just for her, like me meeting her, embracing her energy, also the ability for me to do commerce with her. But please go check out her books, amazing. So I don't even want to get into it and ruin it because it kind of go into the breakdown, but yes. Oh, and also she out of Australia as well, so support. One of the last things is, once again, like, I don't do this for everybody. It's only a handful of people who I even will do this for. But shout out to JT Pocket Watching, bro. And I watched the you and Derek Whitehead run back of him and Bandman Kevo interview. When I seen him on Bandman Kevo platform, I was completely disgusted. Completely. It just made me burp right now. Main reason why is because, you know, like, show me your friends, I'll show you your future, and who you surround yourself around says a lot, and also the people that you willing to stand next to in picture says even more about you. And that's one of the main reasons why, regardless if I've been in the same room as a Marcus Barney, or if I've been in the same room as the crazy thing is, I do have pictures with Jay Morrison. That's because that was before I knew he was who he was. That's when I went to the Black Wall Street ball. Him 500, never took a picture with bro. I've been in a room with him at least twice, never cared enough to ask. I've shaken his hand, but also it was in passing. He was talking to my people and they were doing something with him, and then they even got to the point where the people who I used to do a podcast with, Parker and Daylene, they're such nut handlers that they are willing to take pictures with people who you know you're not supposed to be in pictures with. And the karmic aspect of it, it always worked the way it's supposed to. So once again, like I said, always shout out to JT Pocket Watching for him staying within that financial aspect and him just exposing the ignorance. And like even JT platform, I've always done my best to be mindful of the things that I say online, because like there is bits and truth when people use buzzwords in order to get people attracted and stuff, especially like when it comes to like the whole sovereign citizen movement. Birth certificates have millions and billions of dollars attached to it, social security number accounts. You have to be very mindful. It is parts of truth to some of those things, but teaching people that can become super risky. And so I'm always mindful of the things that I say online. I usually do my best to stick to things that people can see evidence of in black and white. So when you hear Derek White here talking about scratch pub coat, nigga, I tried to Google it, I couldn't find that shit. And that was when I met homie back when we did the event for him. And I'm gonna drop some of the footage from when we did the event from Derek, so just check that. All right, here you see me getting ready before the Derek Whitehead lecture. That's Day passing me my suit jacket. Yeah, and there go Baldhead Herman, the Haitian CEO, a few other people who not really worth mentioning. And yeah, that's me. But like as you can see, like I be around a lot of these people. And sometimes you don't know, but once you figure it out, like you have a civic duty to just like not be a F-boy and just like look at him looking like Bruce Leroy with that Jerry curl. It's crazy, this man on that outfit. It's low-key fire. It's his hair just not doing it. But yeah, bro, it was a lit event. I ain't gonna hold you. He put it together well, fam. So yeah, like as you can see, like I be around, like from kicking it with Derek Whitehead at that event. Though I was fortunate enough to actually, I had met Herman, the Haitian CEO. I had met him before that, and that's how we even ended up at the Derek Whitehead event. And it was a lit event. As far as the information, I didn't learn shit, because like y'all know the type of stuff I deal with. I build businesses. I help people to scale them. We help to increase valuations. That's what I did with Game Face Growing Farms. I've brought multi-million dollars, even in some cases some billion-dollar contracts to that company, between the treaties that we've got with some of the other nations, with my family, and just like some of the growth, some of the research, some of the products we've got, just through us having that large membership network with all of those businesses. That increased our valuation by me bringing in more members, which didn't happen for years until I came around. So like, I get it. I'm not out here lying to people, telling them you can find me on FINRA, that I've done this, I've done that. You can look up my credentials. I just had a good education, fam. And I've been able to, I've been able to get it from zero. And I don't never flex or anything. Like, I had a really good education. Like, my introduction to the stock market was in 2nd grade. My first economics class was in 6th grade. By 6th grade, I had made, me and my oldest son, Godfather, we have made our first business, D&D Lawn Care. And I had already had an understanding of like how money was moving. I was selling CDs in middle school. My mom was dating a DJ who had a CD burner, fam. So like, I always had an understanding of hustle coming from Detroit. And then it got to the point where I got to college and like I really had to understand, because I had to change and do something. So I started to study contract law and contracts, especially when I had learned how to GC, becoming a general contractor. That's what kind of got me into the UCC law, mechanical liens, commercial liens. Whenever you do a service for somebody and they did not pay you, you have the ability to lien the property, and then you can submit that to the court, and then you can have them get you remedy, or like some way, shape, or form they will either liquidate funds for them, garnish them, possibly take property when you do it in that capacity. And that's how I learned for that to work. So I'm like, I understood business and commerce, and then all this other stuff came about. So, and this is like, keep in mind, this is from like 18 up. I'm damn near mid-30s, fam. Over 15 years in this with consistent like study, education, development, and receipts. There's not too many people who can tell me shit that I will not understand, comprehend, have not experienced, or just like, you can't finesse me. Let me just say it like that. So when my company, when CGN, Capital Gains Network, when they went and they shot the Derek Whitehead event that he did down here in Miami, I believe it was sometime last year. I sat and I listened. I stood up the whole time and I listened to what was said. Best speaker that was there was Herman, the Haitian CEO. Very eloquent speaker. He did not present any information that I did not know. It was the way how he presented it, because it was based on credit and it was very well put together. I even brought bro a drink after the event and told him he was one of the best speakers I have seen in a long time, and I speak very well. And I told him that I don't give out kudos. That's why, like, I'm heavy on the JT pocket watching situation. And like I said, even his platform, it makes you want to, if you make it to JT platform, you want to make sure it's for the right thing. And I appreciate bro when he had clipped my little EYL joint, but I don't ever want to be on his platform for the wrong thing. You feel me? And so, like, I'm always mindful. I just had to cut into somebody else the other day because they felt the way over business. I'm like, bro, my number been the same all these years. I have never changed my 248-325-8702 number. It's been the same. My social medias are the same. I'm like, you can find me. You can reach out to me. If you got a problem, hit me up, fam. Like, I'm like that. But don't go around gossiping and creating issues when I literally open the floor in order to settle any issues that somebody may have with me. And most issues that people have with me is they just don't like the way I talk or how I deal, because the services that I say I provide. And that's one thing I do my best. And I also make sure I provide value. I over provide, fam. So when you see JT busting down these people like the whiteheads and stuff, like, scratch, pup, cool. Bro, like, that footage was funny. Like, yeah, and like looking like Bruce Leroy and the Dragon, dog. But yeah, just be mindful where y'all place your energy and y'all time, and have clear goals, and make sure, like, if you have an understanding of what it is that you're looking for in today's time in 2025, you for sure can start pulling information through AI. Just like verify whichever source that you pull in, like double check your resources, run the information that you got back through AI, back through Google, like check, reference check, for real, because that system is not always accurate, and it should not be the standard of our education. It is just a tool. So make sure y'all still reading, educating yourself, and looking to grow. We are in a time right now where the bag is available, and when you get the bag, you gotta make sure you secure the bag. That's why I'm not necessarily mad at the Derek Whitehead aspect. It's like, you gotta teach people how to grow and how to scale, but I'm not in favor of, like, you can grab a shelf corp and develop it and do all these things, but also we don't gotta tax our people on this stuff, bro. You can make a few hundred just in order to, like, you don't gotta overcharge people thousands of dollars. And I've always been heavy on that. But with the direction that things are going now, things have been automated in the system, so I'm solely focusing on private equity. And I'm just in the consulting aspect when it comes to business scaling and development, and I'm doing that mainly a lot with the tribe. So I respect the business game, you know, like the John Hope Bryants, the melanated men. Even like my homie called Dr. Boyce a fairy, but Dr. Boyce been consistent. Like, that's one thing I can say about Dr. Boyce. People can feel the way that they feel about him. I don't like all the black power, Y'all know my stance. I'm an American Indian. Like, my people are not paid, but I understand my culture. It's just I want more people to have an understanding of where they come from and not relate into that. So, but once again, respect. Dr. Boyce was the first to do it, and he did it very well. Like my homie, Dr. Jamar Montgomery, he heavy on the crypto education and finance. There are several people within our community who are pushing for us to do better. It's just like, y'all gotta want that shit, fam. Y'all have to stop paying attention to the twerkers, the Drewskis, and the streamers. Not saying that you can't have your leisure time, but we gotta focus on this financial development within our community. And we also need to have businesses that each other can partner with and patronize, because I shouldn't have to create every single service within my scope. Because if y'all had some of the businesses, I just would have came to you and paid you in order to do some of these things. But no, now I have a media company, I have a news company. We do our own podcasting, we do our own marketing, we have our own consulting. Like, if there's ever a need, we fill it within our own company structure, because there wasn't enough businesses that was close enough around in order for me to properly patronize. Or either sometimes I don't want to pay the fee, just keeping it a buck. So I rather put time and energy, like, I hate subscription models. I rather put time and energy into developing our brand, making sure that we don't have to lean on nobody else in order to get this money. So it is what it is. But make sure y'all tap into the next one. Peace and love. This is where we have real conversations with real people in real time.